Jessie from Nailed It NZ, and today I'm going to show you how to paint nail polish onto your keys. They last so well and they look really cool. So I am going to do 5 different designs, which you can kind of see here. Hope you like this video, please subscribe and thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Before we start, I thought I'd just show you this key I painted in 2012, maybe 2013. It's glitter polish, so it does last a bit longer than normal, but it's still fairly typical of how long polish on keys last for. You'll see that I don't paint the sides though, as they will rub off and could chip the flat surface as well. Alright, here's a before shot of the keys. First you'll need to clean them, so I just used a lint-free wipe and some isopropyl alcohol for this, but you could just wash them under a tap and wait for them to dry. Before we get stuck into this, you'll need to also figure out a place for them to dry where both sides aren't touching anything. I experimented a bit with this, cutting a hole in cardboard using blue tack to stick them onto a box, and my husband even suggested sticking them into a banana. That was a bit gross though, and I actually discovered off camera that the best way to do it was just to stick them onto an edge of a solid book with blue tack. To start the designs, I'm applying a base coat first, simply because of the reasoning that nail polish is designed to stick to base coats, not anything else. And let's just ignore the fact that base coats are meant to stick to the natural nail and not keys. We're starting with a polka dot design, so paint 2 coats of pink nail polish on each side of the key. I let my keys dry for quite a while between each coat and got started on the other designs while waiting. Next, use a dotting tool and some white polish to carefully make dots across the key, as I am doing here. If you don't have a dotting tool, try a toothpick or a sewing pin stuck into an eraser, that could work as well. Give that a good while to dry, then apply a thick coat of top coat so you don't smear the design. Stick it onto the blue tack book dryer or a banana or whatever, I won't judge, and we'll move on to the next design. The next key is a galaxy design and one of my favourites. Prep the key in the same way and then paint it black. Once that's dry, use an eyeshadow applicator or a piece of sponge to dab some white polish across the key in any design you want. After that, dab on some purple and then some pink. There is no right way to do this design, so just go crazy. Once you've finished that, apply a coat of glitter polish and let it dry for a while. The last thing to do is to paint a bunch of stars on. Some will be little X's and some will just be dots. The hand painting of the tiny X's can be a bit tricky, but if you mess up like I did, just use the black to help reshape it. Don't forget to do both sides and then apply a top coat. The next key has kind of a tiger theme, and start by painting 2 coats of white and letting them dry. By the way, don't do this to your keys unless you don't need to use them for a while. You don't want to risk ruining them. I painted mine in the afternoon and let them dry completely overnight. Then grab a thin striping brush and an orange nail polish and carefully paint on stripes that travel across the nail, making sure you leave room to add black ones in as well. Again, there's no one way to do this, so just go with what looks good to you. Once that's done, go in with the black and do the same thing. Here's how both sides came out, and then just finish off with the top coat and we'll move on to the rose key, my favourite one. This one is way easier than it looks. Start off with 2 coats of white polish. Once that's dry, grab some pink polish and a dotting tool and make some roughly round shapes on the key. Make sure you do this fast because you still want it a little bit wet for the next part. Swirl in some light pink polish with a little brush to make the rose look a little bit more interesting, and then we'll come back to this soon. Get some green polish and paint on little leaves around the roses, and you may want to add them around the outside as well to fill in the space. Next, add a light green to highlight part of the leaves. This isn't essential, but it does look really good. Finish off by using white polish and your tiny brush to gently add a few little curves inside the roses. Do this to both sides and then of course apply a top coat. The last nail is another fun design I've done a lot on my nails, daisies, and we'll start it off by painting the key light blue. Go in with your striping brush and white polish and make a bunch of white lines coming out from a central point on the key. You may find it easy to crisscross all the lines like I did for the first daisy, or else pull them out from the middle part like in part of the second one. Add a few petals around the outside too, so it will look like a pattern. Then just use your dotting tool to make a yellow dot in the daisy's centres. Once it's finished, it should look something like this, and then just apply a top coat. And that's this tutorial finished. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know if you're planning to try this out. I would love to see what you guys come up with. Thank you for watching. I have 2 new videos every week, and I'll see you later. Once that's done, fill in the gaps with more of these shapes. It's kind of up to your personal preference here, really. Clean up around your cuticles, apply a top coat, and that's this design finished. Next design.